Welcome back to another video. Today I had to use a dramatic thumbnail and title to get your attention. But once you have watched this video you will understand why. I guess that most of you hold Tether. What I discovered recently really changed my mind about them. What it is and what you can do to protect yourself against this ticking time bomb, coming up now. I came across a video from Gammon where he went over Tether, and why this stablecoin could actually be very unstable. This video really blew my mind. Let me leave a link to his video in the description. If you got time, definitely watch it. With almost 1 hour, his videos are quite long though. That's why I cut out the most important part which you have to see. It's about Tether's terms of service. If this is actually true, you have to find another stablecoin, and after this clip, I will show you what I'm doing to prepare for the worst.
Let's go ahead and start off by going to Tether's website and looking at their terms of service to see what the restrictions are around redeeming your Tethers for dollars, and also get some insights on what's actually on their balance sheet that is the equivalent, so they say, of actual dollars, cash. So about their tokens, general restrictions: Tether issues and redeems Tether tokens. Okay, we got that. Tether tokens may be used, kept, or exchanged online wherever parties are willing to accept the Tether tokens. Pretty straightforward. Tether tokens are 100% backed by Tether's reserves. I didn't even notice this, but they've got a typo there. Tether, if you're watching, you've got a typo on your terms of service. I think Tether's tokens are 100% backed by Tether's reserves. Okay, but my main point is, what are these reserves? Because people just think that it's cash, that it's dollars. Tether tokens are denominated in a range of fiat. Okay, so they do euros, dollars, etc. Okay. The composition of the reserves used to back Tether tokens is within the sole control and at the sole and absolute discretion of Tether. So now we're starting to get the idea that there might not be dollars that actually back up those tethers. And that leads us to the question of how redeemable are they? Okay, let's keep going. Tether tokens are backed by Tether's reserves, including fiat, but Tether tokens are not fiat themselves. Okay, Tether will not issue Tether tokens for consideration consisting of digital tokens. Only money will be accepted upon issuance. And I find that very interesting, that you can't actually use crypto, as an example, Bitcoin, to buy Tether from Tether. They only take money. Okay. In order to cause Tether tokens to be issued or redeemed directly by Tether, you must be a verified customer of Tether. So how do you become a verified customer of Tether? And isn't that also at their sole discretion? So if they said, okay, listen, you've got $1 million worth of Tether that you want to redeem for dollars, you've got to go through this verification process. And you go through that process and they say, yeah, it's not going to happen. We're not going to verify you. For whatever reason, they just keep kicking that can down the road. This gives them the legal right to do that. And meanwhile, you're just sitting there holding the bag of Tethers and not having access to your $1 million worth of currency. And here's the part we really need to pay attention to. Tether reserves the right to delay the redemption or withdrawal of Tether tokens if such delay is necessitated by the illiquidity or unavailability or loss of any reserves held by Tether to back the Tether tokens. And Tether reserves the right to redeem Tether tokens by in-kind redemptions of securities and other assets held in the reserves. So what they're saying is, if they take your dollars and go out and instead of holding those dollars as assets on their balance sheet, which I would imagine 90% of the people that hold Tether assume they're doing, they're going to take those dollars and they're going to go out and buy corporate debt. They're going to buy shares in Tesla. Who knows? They may buy Dogecoin. They may buy Dave Portnoy's new coin. To the moon, I think is what he's calling it. And you have no control over that whatsoever. And then what they're saying is, if Dogecoin goes down by 50%, or if they can't sell it at a price they need to get, then they're just going to delay paying you. And that's if you're a verified customer. Or they say if there's no availability of the asset, or if they take a huge loss on the asset, let's say they take in $100 million, they issue 100 tethers, 100 million tethers, and then the value of those assets go down to 10 million. Well, they don't have that other $90 million to give you. And you may be saying to yourself, okay, George, it sounds a lot like fractional reserve banking. In a way. And we're going to get into that in a moment. And then I think this is fascinating right here at the end, where they say that they can actually make redemptions using the securities they have as assets. So if I'm reading this correctly, if they buy a corporate bond for $100,000, and that's how they're marking it on their balance sheet. See, it's not mark to market. What they're doing is when they buy it, whatever the retail value or whatever the price they paid for the asset, that's what's going on to their balance sheet. So if it goes down by half, they're still claiming that it's worth what they paid for it. So if you came to them with a redemption for $100,000, they could give you those corporate bonds that they paid $100,000 for, but are now worth $50,000, let's say. The bottom line is on their website, they say that these tethers are redeemable per terms of service. And my guess is very few people are actually reading the terms of service, because if they did, I don't think they would be holding on to Tether long term, that's for sure.
I also haven't had read Tether's terms of service, so a big thanks to George for pointing this out. And if we take a look at Tether's balance sheet, it gets even more bizarre. You see that a big position of the balance sheet is commercial paper. That means corporate debt. What happens if these companies can't pay back what they owe? Then you and I are in big trouble when we want to redeem our Tether tokens. But we haven't even gotten to the most hilarious part yet. And that's the amount of cash they hold. They have got 3% of their balance sheet in cash. Yes, you heard that right, only 3%. For me, this looks as if Tether is playing a very dangerous game with our money. In case they get the investments wrong, we are screwed. Let me show you what I am doing to prepare for the worst. I have started to put my money in different stablecoins. Before I had 90% of my stablecoins in Tether. This is changing very fast now. The first stablecoin I can recommend is BUSD. In my opinion, Binance is the most trustworthy company at the moment, and I think they will get more market shares if Tether screws up. Binance has made a partnership with Paxos, which is another stablecoin provider. I feel much safer having a part of my stablecoins in BUSD because the token is backed with a $1 to $1 ratio. The next stablecoin I am using is USDC. The companies behind it are Coinbase and Circle. I am not the biggest fan of Coinbase. Not for the reason of security but of the fact that the fees are too high. However, when it comes to safety and transparency, they demand a $1 to $1 ratio, and monthly published proof of reserve. This is really good for us and makes this stablecoin very trustworthy. If you check CoinMarketCap, you can actually find many different stablecoins. I don't want to cover all in this video, and there are a few more that I'm using. I just want you to be smart about it and start diversifying your stablecoin portfolio. Tether might be fine after all, and I'm not saying that the bomb is definitely going to explode. But I've heard so many bad rumors about Tether over the years, that I can't keep all my dollars in Tether. Regardless of which one you chose in the end, it is important that you have more than one stablecoin. Please like and share this video if it was helpful to you. As well as leave a comment with your favorite stablecoin. We hope to see you in the next video.